Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode. I forgot to say donuts and munchkins, but hello, my beautiful donuts and munchkins. Hope you are doing well if you are watching this on YouTube, because these are live on YouTube, by the way. You can see my face. You can see my face while I'm talking all things donuts and fat loss and weight loss and all that shit. And as you can see in today's episode, we're talking discipline. But anyways, getting caught off subject here. Was just fixing my hair. Just got out of the shower. Just had a nice little lower body workout. Crushed the legs a little bit. To be honest, I'm not really crushing legs right now. Ever since I really ramped up my my running over the last month and a half, 6 weeks or so, I have developed some good old quad tendonitis, because sometimes when I hit the ground running, pun intended there, and I just increase my volume way too fast, way too quickly, way too much. So now we're dealing with both quad tendons, basically right above the kneecap, dealing with a little bit of tendonitis there. So we are dialing back on the lower body days just a bit. And when I dial back, I'm just doing more hip dominant exercises, like a lot of RDLs, deadlifts, glute bridges, and just trying to take a little bit of the stress off the knees to, one, allow them to recover. But I still do like quad dominant, knee dominant movements. I just keep it really light. So for example, I did do some Bulgarians today. I did 2 sets of body weight, 10 to 12 reps. And then I did a set with 20 pounds per hand. And just to give you some insight, I can typically do anywhere from probably 60 to 80 pounds per hand if I'm going pretty heavy, when I'm in a decent spot there. But yeah, we're just dialing things back a little bit. We're going to keep on going. Still crushing upper body. Anyways, I don't know where I was at. Oh, just talking about my hair. Just took a shower. Talking about lower body day. But we're back. So anyways, thank you so much for tuning back in. Hope all is going great. Hope your week is going great. If you tuned into last week's episode, hopefully you enjoyed it. But as I said in last week's episode, we're going to be talking about discipline. So this is actually going to be part 1 of 2 parts when it comes to improving your discipline for weight loss. So we're going to talk about one area of planning. I just totally botched it. Just totally gave you today's episode, planning. But I'm going to give you the one area of today, and then we'll get into the other one, and we'll get into more details of it. So should be a good old episode. If you've been liking the podcast, as I've been saying the last couple, please leave it a good old 5-star review. Even a written review would be great. And something that'd be pretty helpful as well is, if you're really enjoying these podcasts, share it on social media. Share it on social media. Share it on your Instagram. Share it on Facebook. Tag me in it so I can see. Just more or less trying to spread the word out there. So if you could and you want to, like, no pressure. I'm not going to force you to do anything. But if you are willing to share it, and because you're enjoying it, willing to support me over here, that'd be great. Again, just trying to spread more or less really this message. I know I say this in every podcast, but I think this is truly like an area I'm so fucking passionate about, of just really simplifying weight loss and fat loss, and really teaching individuals on how to become the best version of themselves, the healthiest version of themselves, without feeling like they have to fucking go so extreme, feel like they have to fucking lose their mind because of it. Because again, all the Isaac influencers out there will say one thing, which is typically pretty darn extreme, pretty unrealistic, doesn't really suit a individual, a busy mom, busy dad, who, may have been struggling with weight loss the last, 5 years, 10 years or so now, with 3 kids, full-time job, two dogs, and all the activities they have to do for their kids and whatnot, and tell them to work out 2 times a day, every single day, 6 times a week. Tell them they have to, avoid all this sugar and avoid all these bad foods, quote unquote bad foods, even on their kid's birthday or on their own birthday. It's like, no, 1, that's unrealistic. And 2, that's just misinformed. Like, again, weight loss, when it comes down to it, the hard aspects of it are the habits and behavior changes we're making. That's the hard aspect. Like the science of it is simple. Again, maybe it's not easy. It's more of the mental grind of it that can be a little bit more challenging, but it really is a simple game, right? The game is simple. We move our body a little bit each day, steps, get some workouts in throughout the week, eat, manage our nutrition. And what I mean by that is manage our calories, get our protein in, eat whole nutrient dense foods so we can get micronutrients in most of the time, but it doesn't have to be every single moment of every single day. Just be really 80% consistent. So, long story short, let's end all this BS out there and spread the word, share this podcast, and let's get some realistic, sustainable fat loss advice that is realistic and sustainable for your lifestyle, for us normal people. Even though I always say it's no fun being normal, I'm already sweating here. I actually just don't know if my microphone turned off. All right, I think we're good. We're still recording. All right, so anyways, like I was saying, today we're talking about how to be more disciplined. So let's get into it. Let's hit the ground running here so you can improve your discipline for weight loss. So we've all been here. Maybe not all of us, but something like this. And again, this is a personal story, but I think it's pretty relatable that we've all been there. Maybe not this extreme like I have, but also maybe like this extreme. But some sort of way we've done something crazy where it's like the weekend, you're slugging beers all weekend, you're dancing on top of the bar with your shirt off. Me? No, not you. Maybe just me. Anyways, but at the end of the day, we hit McDonald's, of course, probably ordered $30 worth just for myself. Then we return on Monday and tell ourselves, okay, this week, I just need to be more disciplined and think it will just happen overnight. And the analogy I always like to use here is if you're a Friends fanatic like me, is I think about the moment when Joey's lazy board chair, Rosita, it broke. Chandler, was it Chandler? No, whoa, holy crap. Maybe I'm not a Friends fanatic, but it was Rachel who broke it. So obviously they left and Chandler thought he broke it, that whole story. But anyways, it's like when Rosita broke and then obviously Chandler replaced it and they thought it was magically fixed. That's what you think is going to happen overnight with your discipline. You think it's just, hey, I need to be more disciplined. You go to bed, wake up, and you're just all disciplined, ready to roll. Discipline is like a muscle. With the right approach, it can improve and get stronger. Like you can get more disciplined. That is very true. That is factual. But here's the thing. The most significant difference between you and someone who is actually pretty disciplined with their nutrition, their workouts, their whole diet and fitness plan, they are just really good at planning ahead in order to set themselves up for success. Because what they're doing is they're allowing themselves to make fewer and easier decisions each day. So let me explain. Mental fatigue is a real thing. It is. I'm sure you felt it before. There's no denying that. But we all roughly make about 35 plus decisions a day, roughly around there. And after making so many freaking decisions, it can be hard to make the best choice that aligns with your goals, to pay attention to your goals, to stay focused on your goals. This is why it's easy to skip the workout that you were waiting to see how you feel after a long day of work, or why it's so common to have a nutritious, healthy meal for breakfast, but by the time dinner comes, we fall off that wagon. We're ordering it out. So what this mental fatigue does is ends up increasing your chances of making a choice that is more convenient, more comfortable, and just easier in the moment. It's why you end up, going through your whole day of work, skipping your workout, ordering out pizza, and then you're on your couch watching a couple episodes of Vanderpump Rules, watching Queen Lisa do her thing for the rest of the night. So your goal here is to figure out how to make decisions ahead of time, how to make these decisions ahead of time for yourself so you can give yourself the best chance of succeeding. Because here's the thing, this is the reason why I say best chance. I get it, life throws you curveball, things pop up, things happen, but there's so much more we are in control of than we think of, that we think things are just happening and without our plan, we don't have a plan. It's just our schedule is crazy. Our schedule is all over the place. Or we feel like it is because we actually have no intention behind it. But when we actually start to put a plan together, yes, bumps in the road will happen, but we are in way more control than we think of. One of the sayings I always like to say are most days are like Tuesdays, to be honest. Like most days are like Tuesdays, where Tuesday is kind of just like a boring day. It's like really nothing much to it. Like Monday's exciting, start of the week. Thursday's pre-Friday, pre-weekend. Friday's pre-weekend. Friday's always exciting. The weekend's the weekend. Wednesday's hump day. We're halfway through the day. Tuesday, today. Tuesday, friends, another friend's quote there. Monday, one day, Tuesday, 2 day. Wednesday, what day? What day? Thursday, the third day. But anyways, most days end up just being like a Tuesday. It's like there's no real special, unique things to it. Like there's not like every day is a birthday party, every day is a holiday, every day is some sort of special celebration of some sort. Most days throughout the year are going to end up being Tuesdays, unless we justify them not to be. Oh, it's a Sunday. We gotta go banana pants and go crush beers and eat fucking all the food. It's like, okay, well, do we have to? What's the reason behind that? Because it's Sunday. I'm like, oh, that's a good reason. All right, yeah, let's do that. No. Anyways, we have to be better at planning. We gotta be really good. Like I always like to make the joke, we should get our black belt in planning. Like if you want to be really good and want weight loss to happen and want to be a lot easier than you're making it, plan. Be really good at planning. So here's how we improve your planning for weight loss and fat loss. Because I assume you get stressed during the week, you get overwhelmed, you get anxious, even maybe if it's trying specifically to lose weight, like that makes you anxious and overwhelmed in yourself. This is where creating a plan comes into play. When you don't create any sort of plan, that is where you end up making these impulsive emotional decisions that throw you off your nutrition and training. Think about it. If you don't create a plan on how your weekend will go, it's going to be much easier to say fuck it and give in to temptations. It's going to be easier to justify just going banana pants and just doing the easier, comfortable thing. That obviously, yes, it's going to give you hits of dopamine in the moment because those are fun things. But maybe these things are also long-term impacting your goals. You're giving too much into instant gratification versus delayed gratification. Another example here, if you go to the gym any day during the week and you don't have a plan as far as what you're going to be doing in the gym, what exercises, what cardio, what stretches, all this stuff, of course it's easier to go walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes, maybe do a thing or two in the gym, call it a day. It's like, okay, yeah, something over nothing's great. But at some point, we need a plan here. At some point, we have to have more intention. We got to put the work in to get the results we want to get. But with a plan, this not sexy, very, very effective thing here is going to help you reduce your stress, help increase your motivation, and keep you on track. Plus, it plays a massive role in your confidence because you will be consistent. When you create a plan, you are just making choices ahead of time. So you don't have to rely on being disciplined or having all this willpower in the moment. You've already made the choices. Now you just follow through with them. Plus, it can save your discipline and willpower for other scenarios where you may need it during the week. Because again, if you're just winging everything and it's like Monday through Wednesday, you're just relying on your natural discipline and willpower, at some point that muscle fatigues. Again, discipline is like a muscle. It's going to fatigue the more you use it, right? So you're using it so much early in the week. That's why Thursday comes, Friday comes, Saturday comes, and things are just a shit show. Yes, there's also added temptation and things like that in certain scenarios in those moments. But it just becomes so much easier to say fuck it and go banana pants, right? That discipline muscle is fatigued. That discipline and willpower battery is starting to drain a lot more where you don't have anything to rely on. Versus you plan early on in the week, you are relying on your plan. You're saving that discipline and willpower battery, that muscle for later on in the week. Friday comes and now you're still making choices. Yes, now we dip into that discipline and willpower a little bit, but we're making choices that still keep us consistent and still align with our goals to where we end up having a great successful week because of it, because we made more choices aligned with our goals than not. We were about 80% plus consistent throughout the month because we were making choices aligned with our goals. Now we're pushing some progress. Things are getting easier. It's easier to stay on track and stay consistent because we just simply took care of our planet. So hopefully this at least sells it a little bit for you guys. If not, I need to find a better way to sell this for you. I don't even want to say sell, but to teach it to you. But planning, trust me, planning that does a lot for everyone, right? Trust me, it's just gonna work. Just try it. Like literally just try it. I'm gonna explain in a little bit how I plan my nutrition and training, just other strategies I use for my clients, because obviously there's layers to it as far as planning out your week ahead, some different strategies you can use to planning out your days ahead, things like that can help with your planning, social events, weekends, things like that. I know those are all challenges, and plus I've been there before, so I get it as well. I'm not trying to act like I've never. My opening story here: slugging beers, dancing on a bar table, tarps off, eating McDonald's. Like, that was me, guys. I'm not trying to hide like I wasn't like this before. I've always been disciplined. There's still areas in my life I could be more disciplined at. I think about it from a business aspect, like health and fitness. Like, one, I love it, so it's easier for me to stay disciplined with it. Like, I thoroughly enjoy it. But with writing, recording these podcasts, like running this business, doing all the admin work that comes with the business, I fucking have a hard time with that. Like, I need to be better disciplined, better plan with it. So, like, specifically with this podcast, if I go into a week not knowing what I'm recording without any notes or any idea what's going on, I'm probably not going to record the podcast. But when I know ahead, I have to schedule ahead in advance of like, hey, this is going to be discipline part 1. Next week's going to be discipline part 2. It helps me stay motivated and stay clear on what needs to be get done. It's just preparation and planning. That's all it is. Preparation and planning. When things are chosen and organized for you in advance, gives you a clear path, and so you know what direction you're headed in. It just makes it easier. Now, is it always sunshine and rainbows easy? No, it's still like some layers of resistance to it, but it's a lot less. It gives you maybe that resistance is not enough to where you can actually still break through that wall and still get the shit done. So that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to make that resistance to the thing you're trying to do way less. Will it still be there? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe a lot less. But as long as it's less and now you're able to execute on it, that's exactly what we're looking for. That's what we like to hear. So anyways, here's how to plan nutrition in your training and fitness and all that stuff. So let's start specifically with nutrition. At a bare minimum, this is what I like to have all my clients do. This is what I want you to do. But 24 hours in advance, you should know everything you're eating. So you go into tonight, you should know what you're having for breakfast tomorrow. You should know what you're having for dinner tomorrow. You should know what you're having for lunch tomorrow. I don't know why I went out of order there, but I did. But you should know what you're having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner tomorrow. You should also know what your snacks options will be. And if you even want to take it a step further and make it really easier on yourself and make calorie tracking easy, track it all in advance as well. Plug it into your fitness tracker or your calorie tracker app, whether it's MyFitnessPal, Lose It, whatever calorie tracking app you're using, plug it all in advance. And then all your decisions are made. So you know what's going on, what you're having. And you can go as far as meal prepping. Like, another way of planning is meal prepping. So there's a couple things here. You can do a full-on meal prep where you get the Tupperware out. You're cooking your protein, your fruits, your vegetables, your carbs, all the things you're putting on, the spices, the tastings, the mixed and match, and blah, 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 blah. You're putting meals together and you're putting them into Tupperware. And you can do that for a couple days in advance or a week in advance, but you're prepping, so basically it's grab and go at that point. So that's one way to go about meal prepping. For me, I like to at least do ingredient prepping. Now, I'm obviously like fortunate where I work at home, so I can just quickly put things together, and I can even cook things a little bit here. But for the most part, as long as I have some cooked meat, have some vegetables either ready to be sauteed or cooked up, so it's grab and go. I'm a big bag salad person. I love bag salad. I think it just makes life way easier rather than putting a whole salad together. Cool. If you like doing that, you got the time to do it, you want the effort to put into that. Not that it's that much effort, not to say it's not a little effort, but it's really like not like we're doing anything, crazy or having performance surgery or anything like that. But if you like to put a fresh salad together, cut up your own lettuce, cut up your own tomatoes, do your thing there. I do a bag salad. I think they're really good. I also like to put a little Greek yogurt into it to give it a little bit of creamer taste, plus a little sneak in some protein there. But again, second layer here is just more or less having ingredients on hand and having some things prepped up. So you might not be doing the whole Tupperware thing, but you got your chicken cooked up, you got your steak cooked up, you got your veggies chopped up, you got your bag salads ready to go. You have everything ready to go, and it just might be a little bit more of like you put the dish together, maybe add a little seasoning, add a little taste to it, but you're mostly just doing like a big bulk in meal prep. Or step 3 is like you just make things as you go, but at least you know what you're having. Like the baseline here as far as ingredient prep or a meal prep the groceries are bought and your fridge is full. Your cabinets are full, knowing what the things you have and need to do. So things might not technically be all cooked up, but if you're having chicken tonight, it's defrosted, ready to be cooked. If you're having vegetables that need to be defrosted, you're taking those out, making sure those are washed. You're making sure your breakfast is ready to go. You got your eggs available, you got your oatmeal available. Things just there. You don't have to go shopping for anything. So, anyways, like I was saying, nutrition wise, make sure you know what you're eating 24 hours in advance. I even personally like to create a little menu to make things easier. So it's like for breakfast, I'm typically either having a smoothie or I'm having some eggs, typically like an egg sandwich, where I'm having eggs, egg whites, turkey bacon, a little bit of cheese on one of those Dave's bagels. I know that's going to be about 30 plus grams of protein there. And then I'll have that like egg sandwich. I'll have a protein smoothie, usually mixed berries, a little bit of Fairlife milk, 2 scoops of protein. And then if I'm feeling crazy, I'll throw in a tablespoon of peanut butter. Again, that's probably going to have more closer to 60 grams of protein there. But those are typically my breakfast options. Like I just choose 2 things and it's typically one of those. Yeah, I'll mix it up once in a while. Maybe I'll have oatmeal. Maybe I'll have like Greek yogurt. But those 2 have been more or less my go-tos lately. And then for lunch, I typically either will have leftovers from the night before. I'll actually even maybe have breakfast again. Like I might have another egg sandwich, or if I didn't have an egg sandwich, I might have that for lunch. Big ass salad, just have a bag salad, throw some meats in it, whatever I have cooked up, whether it's steak or chicken. So typically lunch for me is like leftovers or a big ass salad or like a breakfast option I just typically have often. And then dinner tends to be the variable. Like tonight I'm having steak. Last night we had like ground beef with gnocchi, something we put together, Trader Joe's little style dish. But anyways, creating a menu for yourself. I don't know why I just got so in depth. I forgot what I was talking about for a second. I just was looking at my notes. I'm like, what am I talking about? Why am I talking about this? But create a menu for yourself. So breakfast, pick 1 to 3 options, right? Create that menu. Yes, it can be a little bit more, a little bit less, but like roughly 1 to 3 options for breakfast. Same thing for lunch, 1 to 3 options. It doesn't mean like you have to do it every single day, but more days throughout the month than not. Like follow this menu. It just makes making decisions and planning a lot easier, makes grocery shopping a lot easier. And then let dinner be the variable, because that just might be different each time. Monday might be steak, Tuesday might be Taco Tuesday, Wednesday might be chicken, Thursday you might put this, some specialty dish together. I don't know what it is. Fridays might be like a special night where you have burgers and whatnot. But anyways, create a little option, a menu for yourself. 1 to 3 options for breakfast, 1 to 3 options for lunch. It can just make prepping things up a little bit easier as well. All right, now we go into training. So with training, it's a little bit different, because obviously I don't want you to just do it 24 hours in advance. I actually want you on Sundays to plan out your whole week in advance. Plan out your entire schedule. And this is what you should know. What days you're working out? How many days are you working out? What days are those? What time are you working out? Are you working out morning, lunch break, afternoon, evening time? Like what time are you specifically working out? And then what workouts are you doing each day? Hey, I'm doing 3 days a week. Mondays push, Wednesdays pull, Fridays legs. Hey, I'm doing 4 times a week. Monday, Tuesday is upper body, lower body. Friday, Saturday is going to be upper body, lower body 2. So the second time that week. Hey, I'm doing 3 full bodies this week, 2 full bodies this week. Hey, I'm doing cardio this day. Just break it down. Like break it down what days you're working out, what times you're working out, and what workouts you're actually doing. And if you are someone who does like fitness classes, sign up for a class. When I was working in person at this gym, we used to have a lot of strength and conditioning classes, but I'd always tell people, hey, go schedule your classes for the week. Because 1, it's going to help hold you accountable. But 2, you're creating your plan for the week. You're signing up for them in advance, which is awesome, which is going to help you stay in line with your goals, help you stay focused, increase your chances on staying on track, crushing your goals. It's just going to help you stay more disciplined. So to simply break it down, plan out nutrition 24 hours in advance, plan out training 7 days in advance. Try to know your schedule for the entire week when it comes to your training. So now I know what you're asking. Kev, what about, like social events, the weekends, going out to dinner? How do I plan for that? So this is where it obviously gets more particular, more specific into strategizing for the individual. But here are usually my go-to 3 ideas that work out pretty well with individuals. So more specifically for whether it's a weekend, whether it's a social event, are you going out to dinner for some reason? First tip, is to work backwards on those days. When you have a social event or a weekend event or you're going out to eat, what you're going to do is plan to save anywhere from about 40 to maybe 60-ish%. It can be a little bit more, it can be a little bit less, but I'd say about 40 to 60%, somewhere in that range of your calories for that specific event. So it's for that dinner, for that work event, for that social event. Save about 40 to 60% of your calories for that event. So if I get 2,000 calories a day, I'm saving 800 to about 1,200 calories for that specific event. If I get 1,500 calories a day, I'm going to save about 600. I'm double checking my math here. 600 to 900 calories for that day, or for that event, excuse me. And what I would do on the outside of that event, because obviously like you're going to have less calories for your meals, you'll be left to about anywhere from like, again, roughly 40% to 60% for the rest of the day, the entire day itself. So what I always recommend, because we want to make sure we're still getting protein in, we still want to get our micronutrient dense in, but like also get volume foods in so we can manage our hunger and still have decent energy throughout the day. So what I'd recommend the other times of the day where you do eat. So you might be going to a dinner. So for breakfast and lunch, lean proteins, fruits and vegetables. These are going to help you get your nutrients in. They're a great bang for your buck, meaning you can have them typically in a higher volume for less calories. So they can help fill you up and fill you up for longer and can help with hunger management and just managing energy throughout the day. So work backwards. Again, this is great for more specific events, whether it's a social event, whether it's a work event or a celebration of some sort. So this works more in a particular day. Now, if you're someone with something going on for like a weekend, maybe you're going away for a bit, or maybe not even going away, but there's more events going on. This might be just something that works better for you. Like as a weekend warrior myself, calorie cycling, I like it. It works well for me. I do enjoy it. So this could be an idea that works for you, but also it's just another tool. There's nothing sexy or crazy about it. It's just a tool. It's just a strategy. Maybe awful for you, maybe great for you, but that's for you to determine. Anyways, this is all it is. So all you're going to do is look at your calories rather than like a day-to-day target, but as a weekly target. So again, let's take 2,000 calories a day. Instead of me looking at hitting 2,000 calories every single day when I'm tracking my calories, I'm actually looking from a broader scope, bigger picture, and just making sure for the week I hit 14,000 calories, no matter where those calories are distributed. So obviously 2,000 is my calorie target per day, 7 days a week. So 2,000 times 7 days a week would be 14,000 calories for the week as a whole. So I could still do 2,000 calories every single day. But if I want to have some more flexibility on the weekend, what I might do is 1,700 calories Monday through Thursday. On Friday, bump that up to 2,400 calories. Then on Saturday, we'll bump it up to 2,800 calories because I want a lot more there. And then Sunday, I go back down to 2,000. And if you add that up together, 1,700 plus 1,700 plus 1,700 plus 1,700 plus 2,400 plus 2,800 plus 2,000, that still equals 1,400 calories. 14,000 calories, excuse me. So that's just, again, you can do calorie cycling over the course of a couple days. Like if you notice like, hey, on Thursday, I want to have an extra 1,000 calories. All right, cool. Let's take 250 calories from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the days before, or you could do from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the following day after Friday. Let's take 250 calories from there. So those days might be, 1,750 with having 3,000 on that Thursday, and then 1,750. So let me rephrase that. 1,750 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3,000 on Thursday, 1,750 on Friday, 2,000 Saturday, Sunday. That's still a calorie average of 2,000 per day. So all you're just trying to do is look at your goal as a weekly target. So whether that's for a couple days, whether that's for a weekend, some people like to do this from a standpoint of having higher calorie days when they work out and lower calorie days when they don't work out. So again, it's just another strategy. Simply put, you're just looking at your calorie goal as a weekly goal versus a day-to-day goal. And as long as you're hitting your calorie weekly goal for the week, you're just fine. However you want to distribute those. Now, would I recommend doing like a 0-calorie day to have a 4,000 calorie day? No, I think that's just a recipe for a disaster waiting to happen and bad habits starting to be created. But you can be a little bit flexible with it for sure. All right. Tip number 3 here, give yourself a day, maybe even 2 days at maintenance. And I know what you're thinking, but maintenance, I'm not going to be making any progress that day. You're right. You're in maintenance those days. You're not going to be making progress. But you're also looking way too short term here. You're not looking at the bigger picture here. I think this works great for the individuals who, the moment they see themselves go over their calorie target, they freak out. They say, fuck it and go banana pants. So what this does is allowing yourself a day or two at maintenance is allowed to give you a little bit more flexibility without feeling like you're fucking anything up, feel like you're failing. And think about it like this. Even though, yes, you're not technically in that deficit for a day or two, it doesn't mean you're not in a deficit for the week. Would you have been in more of a deficit if you were also in a deficit that 1 or 2 days? Sure. But if taking that 1 to 2 days to be at maintenance gives you a little bit more flexibility to enjoy some more food, helps mentally avoid burnout from this whole dieting process, and allows you to stay consistent and keeps it sustainable for the long run, like month over month, maybe for the entire year, I would do it. Yes, it's going to slow down progress. Doesn't mean there's not any progress. And especially if you are someone who goes banana pants on the weekends and you're constantly yo-yo dieting, like you are losing weight, but then you're always regaining it by the weekend. And this just continues week over week, month over month, year over year. And you simply just give yourself 1 to 2 days a week of a little bit more relaxation, stepping off the gas a little bit and to enjoy some flexibility. I'm not saying you fucking take 1 to 2 days and go banana pants, but you do get some flexibility and avoid burnout and enjoy some more food, some more calories. And that's what helps you long term make this whole thing sustainable. I think that trade-off is worth it all day because now you're actually figuring out a strategy that works for you long term to enjoy life still, but also get results. And you're finding this happily ever after. And you're also finding this Goldilocks zone of flexibility and taking care of your shit. So these are just a couple of the tips and strategies. Again, like I said, I'll use whether it's for myself or my clients. But the thing here is like, as some of these work great for some of my clients, others work great for other individuals, the goal is really to find what best works for you. So the way I think about this is trying things out, right? We have to, one, take action. We got to almost think about this as we're trying to collect the data and see what's going on. So the way I think about it is like when a coach prepares for like a sports game, he puts a plan together, right? He puts a plan together that he believes will set his team up with the best chance of winning. Now, whether that plan works or not, at least they had a plan to work off of. And if it works, great. That was a great strategy for that team to beat the other team. We know there's some things we can take home here that worked really well. If the plan didn't work, does he quit and just give up and not plan again? No. Again, it's just data we're trying to collect here. We're going to analyze it. If the coach lost the game, he'll analyze the data. He'll look at the things that maybe went well, that really didn't go all that well, and what they really need to improve upon so they can win next game. The same goes for you. When it comes to putting a plan together for whether it's a social event, for your week, for your training, for your nutrition, the weekends, going out to dinner, whatever it may be, put the plan together that you feel will give you the best chance of winning, that you feel will allow you to stay on track. If the plan works, awesome. Let's go. That's a good plan. But if it doesn't, that's okay. What it could mean is some adjustments need to be made. Maybe you were too restrictive on the plan. Maybe you were too lax on the plan. Maybe there's different ways to approach it. Maybe it just needs another repetition and you need more times and reps with it to just get better at it. This is how you grow. This is how you develop with your training and your nutrition habits. This is what makes you better. This is how you improve, and this is how you improve your discipline when it comes to losing weight. Is you try it, you put your plan together as best you can, Is it what went well? What didn't go well? What could we improve upon? Let's make adjustments if needed and go get it again. Go after it again. So I hope this was really helpful. I actually got really into this podcast as we were talking about it and going through it because I think I really enjoy talking about like the mental side of this whole aspect. So anyways, I hope you found it enjoyable too. And like I said early on in this podcast, if you did enjoy it, please leave it a good old 5-star review. Share it on the socials, share it wherever you can, share it with a friend even. It doesn't even have to be on your socials. Share it to a friend, send it to a friend if you feel like this is something that could really help them. But I appreciate you so much for tuning in. As always, it really does mean the world to me. I hope, again, as I say again way too fucking much, by the way. When I'm editing in these podcasts, I'm like, oh, again. But I do appreciate it. Like I said, next week we're going to be coming up with week 2, our part 2 of how to improve your discipline for fat loss. The other big area here that does make a huge difference. So make sure you tune back in for that. But until then, make sure you go eat that damn donut. I believe in you, and we will chat soon. Cheers.